Hi, welcome to our second video blog at Making Sense of It All. Today we want to talk about two things. First thing is transformational investing, and the second is we're going to try to give you an example of that. In terms of transformational investing, if you take a look at our mission statement, we mentioned transformational investing from the start. It is defined in Webster's as the act or process of change in form and or appearance. For us, transformations can come in many ways. It can come in managerial changes, it can come in a company that does an acquisition or a disposition. A transformational model for us is a model that is going through revenue change, either acceleration or deceleration, margins, the same thing, as well as cash flows. And at the end of the day, what we try to look at or for are companies that we believe that are undergoing transformations that Wall Street hasn't really figured out or even started to think about. Pay attention to the aspect of where we think a model might go in terms of margins, in terms of revenue, in terms of earnings. We work that out from the standpoint of a longer-term model. We apply a multiple to it, and we discount the price back. We would like to be able to talk to you today about one example that we are still invested in, and we still believe that this company is undergoing a transformation as we speak. The name of the company is Enzo Biochem. The symbol is ENZ. Purchased the stock late last year, and our first purchase was back in late November time frame, and we purchased the stock at $2.56. If you go back and take a look at a recent blog of ours dated March 27th, we actually talked about this. The name of the blog was Enzo, a company undergoing a transformation. We repurchased more stock when the stock was close to $3, and our average price of the stock currently is $2.86. We now have had 2 quarters of numbers that have been reported that have started to show what this company might look like. We've watched 2 quarters of revenues being accelerated, both not only year over year, but also sequentially. This last quarter, it was 6%. It's the best it's been in over 6 years. We've watched margins accelerate not only year to year, but in addition, we've watched it accelerate sequentially. This last quarter, it was at 43% gross margins, and we think that that margin can continue to go up. Although that is still losing money, it is getting close to break even, which we believe the company will do this next quarter. Last quarter, they reported a loss of 1 penny. The street was at 5 cents. One of the things that we talked about when we talked about the transformation is this company has made 2 announcements, or pardon me, 1 announcement was they settled with AFI for $5.9 million. This was a IP settlement. This was back earlier this year. In addition, we think that they're very close to another settlement with PerkinElmer. Could be for the same amount or even more. We think that they're starting to show that they can do this. Earlier this year, the court had awarded to Enzo $61 million. Now that is in a final appeal process, and we believe that that process could be announced by the end of this year, so there could be another significant tailwind for the stock. They've got a new product, and we mentioned this in our blog. It's called AmpiProbe, and AmpiProbe reduces the cost of molecular testing, which is a very important part from the standpoint of labs. We think that this company will start to show revenues from this new product, possibly at the end of this year, but more importantly into 2015 calendar year, and we think it could be significant. We think they're going to have standalone revenues, and in addition they will be licensing revenue opportunities as well as partnership. We do believe that this could be a significant jump start from the standpoint of the revenues. The other IP litigation, and we mentioned this in our blog, the company last year offloaded all of their legal expenses to an attorney. That is an ongoing process. There's 11 major cases. They have it on contingency basis that this could be worth a significant amount of monetization over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. It's just impossible to put a number on it. The last thing, we mentioned that Enzo could possibly be a buyout. We never buy a company from the standpoint of being acquired. That said, even despite the move that the company has had, we still believe that this is a very attractive asset. We think it is still undervalued. One of the things that we left with our post is that we can't tell you where a stock is going to end up tomorrow or even next week. What we try to find are companies that we believe that are undervalued and that Wall Street will start to see the value in that equity. We still believe that Enzo has a great deal of upside to the opportunity despite the move that it's had. That said, we still think that there's upside. What we'd like to do today is leave you with something that we found over the weekend. Casey Kasem was a DJ, but he was also the voice for everybody who loves Scooby-Doo of Shaggy. Every radio show that he would leave with, he'd always say this famous saying, "Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars." Thank you. Look forward to our next video.